One of the definitions for the word ministry is to pick something up in one place and drop it off somewhere else. This story is called Same-Day Delivery. Alexa looked in the mirror and finished her mascara as her van was being loaded. She wasn't paying any attention at all to what was coming on. She was just thinking about the girls' night out tonight, and she didn't want to be late. "That's enough," she shouted at the packers. "I don't have all day." "But there's like 3 more piles we need to get on. Some of these were supposed to go out yesterday," they shouted back. "You know the Christmas season always means more deliveries, right?" "I don't care. I'm on the clock. Leave those for somebody else and shut that door." She dropped it into drive before they could argue, so they barely had time to slam the back door on her way out. Now, she's never once been accused of taking her time on her route, but today was a tornado, even by her standards. Barely slowing the van down for each stop, she practically threw the packages at the houses, figuring they'd land somewhere near the porch, or at least the front yard. And sure enough, she finished with just enough time to doll up and catch up to her friends. What a great night. The 5 girls had been besties since high school, and they still knew how to have a good time. The only thing Alexa cared about more than having fun with her friends was making money. That's why this job was so perfect for her. Getting paid by the package meant she could make bank if she really hustled. So she kind of made a science out of how she could deliver more packages in the same amount of time. And today had been her masterpiece. She broke her personal best on deliveries per hour and still got done in time to party. Of course, there were sacrifices that had to be made, but she figured her science skills would bail her out from any serious blowback from the customers. Using the boiling a frog in water principle, she slowly got her customers used to poorer and poorer service so she could whiz through every stop a little faster each time. Instead of the original ringing the doorbell and a cheerful "How are you?" greeting, she cut back to a friendly but busy "Hi" when she handed them the package. Then that got trimmed to a quick smile and a nod, spinning away quickly after the handoff. Doorbells gave way to simple drop-offs, and careful drop-offs morphed into quick, casual, almost newspaper boy tactics, where packages were left somewhere between the street and the front door. So far, so good. Nobody important had complained very loud, so she kept raising her paycheck week after week. She dreamed of travel, of strolling sandy beaches or snowboarding mountain powder. She wanted clothes that would turn all the right heads and blow off all the wrong ones with a dismissive glance that said, "as if." But that all takes some serious buckage, so she was on a money mission, which is why she was a bit annoyed to find a note stuck to her steering wheel the next morning. Already feeling a little hungover, she just wanted to blow through her day and get home to some rest. But the message from her boss stated, "See me before you leave." So she headed over to his office to smooth over any little thing that may have come up. When she knocked and opened his door, though, she was surprised to see the owner of the company standing in the middle of the room. "Mr. Davis," she kind of stammered. "Good to see you." She recovered enough to reach out her hand. "Hi, Alexa." The owner gave her hand a brief shake. "Actually, you're the reason I stopped by today. Do you remember 2 years ago when you first came on and I told you what was the most important to me in this company?" Still a bit off balance by his presence, she searched her memory. "You talked about being the best, if I remember," she began, "and that our customers would be the ones who decided if we were the best." "Very good," he replied. But actually, I said that I would decide if we were the best and that I'd get most of that information from our customers. So you were very close. And I wanted to let you know that what happened a couple of days ago. Some dear friends of mine live on your route. They planned a family trip. But they found out their passports were about to expire, so they paid the premium and hoped they could get new ones in time, since all the tickets and hotels had already been purchased. They had an online tracking number that assured them of delivery by last Tuesday, the day before they left. But they didn't get the package. They had to cancel the trip at the last minute. When the package didn't come on the next day either, they called me. When I checked into it, I found their envelope in a pile by your loading bay. Then I found out that it had been there for 2 days. He paused and looked her in the eye. So Alexa, could you please tell me what I should tell my friends about why they had to cancel their trip and lose all that money? She kind of collapsed down into a chair. I am so sorry, she whimpered. I was taking as many as I could, but the holiday rush just overwhelmed me and I couldn't take them all. I wondered about that, he continued, so I checked your logs on Tuesday and Wednesday, and you know what I found? He asked kind of rhetorically. Your last deliveries were at 4:30 p.m. on both days. Now that might work for February or August, but December? No. So I made a few calls to some of your customers, and what I learned was that you have no desire to be the best, or even to be any good at all. And for that reason, I'm letting you go, effective immediately. I only wish that would make my next stop easier to my friend's house, to explain what happened and to probably lose a friendship that has been very dear to my wife and I. She wandered out of the building in kind of a daze. How could this have gone so wrong? She knew she'd never get a job in this business, in this state again, because of Mr. Davis's influence, and she really didn't know how to do anything else. The seriousness of the damage she'd caused began to really sink in. The next 6 months or so were very transformative for Alexa. She felt so guilty about how careless she'd been. She gave up partying, mostly for the lack of money. Her friends didn't really try to include her in anything anymore. She had regular talks with her mom about what she could ever do about it. Her mom would listen and wisely mention that God was really the only one who could repair that much damage. From what she was taught as a child, Alexa knew that his fix would always start with her. So she swallowed hard and knelt on her knees. But instead of the sledgehammer of more guilt, her sobs were received with a deep sense of love. Everything inside of her seemed to pour out as a warm healing flowed through her like a gentle breeze. She didn't even realize how empty she was until she felt a genuine filling that made her feel alive. Real changes were happening in her mind and heart. She got a vision of being back in the delivery van, but this time she knew exactly what was in each package, and she knew exactly who they were each addressed to. She also knew how absolutely vital it was for her to deliver everything to the right addresses. The first box in her vision was addressed to God. It was a box full of time. So she got to his place early, before she even left her house, and watched as he opened it. Then they hung out for a bit and talked about a few things. Then a big hug, and she was off. The next package was addressed to her mom. It was a simple hug, and some words of gratitude and encouragement, which she could also deliver before she left. The vision went on throughout her whole day, showing her delivering time, encouragement, hugs, sometimes some money. Whatever it was seemed to be exactly what that person needed at exactly the right time. As she wrapped up a busy day of vision deliveries, she felt very tired and very happy. One last delivery remained, and it was addressed to her. Inside was a note that pointed her back to her old job. No matter how difficult it would be, she had to go back and try again, this time making deliveries with excellence and new purpose. To say the reception was pretty icy when she first walked into the office would be unfair to Ice. Her old boss pretended to be very busy and left her waiting for a long time in the lobby. When he finally came out and asked her what she wanted, he was shocked to hear her ask for another chance. "You can't be serious," he almost yelled at her. "We're just starting to get over all the damage you did to that route." He ranted on for several minutes as she patiently listened, never trying to defend herself. When he seemed to have vented everything he'd wanted to yell at her for months, she meekly mentioned that she'd changed a lot, and if he'd give her a chance, she'd like to apologize to each of her previous customers personally. And if he could find it within himself, she'd work for free for a month, inviting him to call random customers at any time to ask about her performance. "I know I'm asking a lot," she quietly summed, "and I totally understand if it's not possible. But I really believe God wants me here to bring the excellence that I failed to bring before." Her boss dismissed himself to think things over and to phone Mr. Davis. "You won't believe who just walked in here," he told the owner. "Alexa," he guessed. Yeah, how'd you guess that?" "I've been expecting her," Mr. Davis explained. "I just had a sense that she'd get straightened out and want to try again. Can't really explain it. Did she offer to apologize and to work for a while for free?" "This is a little spooky," the manager said. "That's exactly what she offered." "Well, let's give her a shot," Mr. Davis decided. "I have a feeling things will be a whole lot different this time." So give her a shot they did, and she did everything she promised. Her heartfelt apologies were accepted as she was warmly forgiven by her customers. Even the family she had damaged the most forgave her. And her delivery style went back to the right way, with the doorbell and the smile and personal greetings, almost like those friendly touches were important, separate packages that now came with each delivery. So she still drives 2 vans to this day. The work van to deliver exactly what her customers ordered for themselves, and the vision van to deliver exactly what God ordered to whoever he addressed it to. And if she comes home with 2 empty vans, she knows it's been a good day.